This is the story of how India, through years of restraint, vision, secrecy, and determination, rewrote its strategic future with a single resounding blast. This is how Operation Shakti changed the nuclear game for India. On May 11, 1998, it was a calm morning in Pokhran, Rajasthan. But under that deep desert soil, India was preparing to alter the world's nuclear balance forever. Codenamed Operation Shakti, the series of 5 nuclear tests catapulted India into the elite club of nuclear weapon states. Unannounced, unexpected, and unstoppable. India's nuclear dream didn't start in the year 1990s. It began in the 1940s, when Dr. Homi Jahangir Baba, often called as the father of India's nuclear program, laid the foundation for atomic research. But geopolitics had other plans. In 1962, the war with China shook India's strategic mindset. Just 2 years later, India tested its first nuclear bomb. Then came the 1971 Bangladesh Liberation War and whispers of potential US intervention, reminding India of its vulnerability. India responded in 1974 when its first nuclear test, Smiling Buddha at Pokhran. Officially a peaceful nuclear explosion, it sent shockwaves across the world. But soon after, international sanctions kicked in and India voluntarily restrained itself from further testing for over 2 decades. As the Cold War ended, the global balances of power shifted, but South Asia's nuclear anxiety only deepened. Pakistan, India's primary adversary, had quietly built its own nuclear weapon program with Chinese and North Korean assistance. The 1990s also saw missile development races between the two countries, India with Prithvi and Agni and Pakistan with Gauri and Shaheen. Internally, the Indian establishment debated, should we declare our nuclear capability or maintain ambiguity? Could India stay out of the Nuclear Non-Proliferation Treaty (NPT) forever? The answer came loud and clear in 1998. When Atal Bihari Vajpayee became Prime Minister in March 1998, the nuclear doctrine was brought back to the table. He gave a green signal to test, reviving a plan that had been cancelled by the earlier government under the US pressure in 1995. The operation was codenamed Shakti, a term meaning power, and it was kept under the strictest secrecy. Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam, then leading DRDO, and Dr. R. Chidambaram from the Department of Atomic Research headed this mission. Everything from transport, logistics to satellite camouflage was handled with surgical precision. Sandbags were used to cover drilling equipment and scientists posed as army engineers. Even CIA satellites couldn't detect the preparations. On May 11, 1998, 3 devices were detonated simultaneously in Pokhran. A 45 kiloton thermonuclear device, a 15 kiloton fission bomb, and a sub-kiloton device. 2 days later, on May 13, 2 more sub-kiloton devices followed. India had successfully demonstrated both fission and fusion technology. And more importantly, the country had surprised the world with its speed, precision, and resolve. PM Vajpayee announced proudly that India is now a nuclear weapon state. No power on earth can stop us now. The international response was immediate. The US, led by President Bill Clinton, condemned the test. Economic sanctions followed, cutting off aid, freezing technology transfer, and suspending loans. Japan, Australia, and European countries followed suit. But India stood firm. Even as Pakistan conducted its own test weeks later, India maintained that its weapons were far more credible and with minimum deterrence, and not aggression. It refused to sign the CTBT and NPT, asserting the treaties were discriminatory. These bold moves marked a shift from reactive diplomacy to strategic autonomy. Operation Shakti changed not just India's global status but also its internal science and defense priorities. India began aggressively investing in indigenous technology. DRDO accelerated missile systems like Agni and K. Nuclear submarines like INS Arihant gave India a second strike capability essential for deterrence. The test also inspired a generation of scientists and engineers, showing what India could achieve despite sanctions and isolation. India's strategic doctrine evolved into a policy of no first use, a mature stance rooted in responsibility. In recognition of this historical achievement, the Indian government declared May 11, that is today, as National Technology Day. It not only commemorates Operation Shakti but also celebrates India's scientific excellence, be it in nuclear science, IT, space research, or biotechnology. It reminds us that technology isn't just about progress, it's about sovereignty, about the right to choose your destiny. Today, India stands as a responsible nuclear power, never having used its weapon, yet always prepared. From being denied access to global tech in the 1990s to now launching the Chandrayaan and being a key player in Quad and G20, India's global journey has been extraordinary. And it all accelerated with Operation Shakti, a silent explosion that echoed through continents, reminding the world that India has arrived. India's nuclear journey wasn't just about bombs, it was about belief. Belief in our scientists, in our sovereignty, in our right to stand tall. Operation Shakti was not an aggression, it was a declaration of independence, of technology, of policy, of vision. If this story inspires you, hit the like button, subscribe for more deep dives into Indian strategic history, and comment below what do you think was the biggest impact of Operation Shakti. Thanks for watching.